Hello guys and welcome to my 18-month Japanese learning update. So first of all, if you've been here for the other videos, you're probably like, whoa, we have a new background. This is my bookshelf. I have my manga, light novels, weeb stuff, everything. But I decided I might as well film in front of this instead of just at my desk because I moved into a house with my friends since we moved to a different place for college. So since I'm in a new house, it's, might as well like spice it up, I guess. So I decided to do this. You don't want to know how I'm recording this because I do not have a tripod. So this is very, very scuffed, but it's working, I hope. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Tiger, Aaron, whatever, however you know me. I've been learning Japanese with immersion methods for 18 months. I actually have learned Japanese before this, and it wasn't with immersion methods, and it did not go very well. So I kind of just throw that out, and I start from 18 months ago today, which is when I decided to use immersion methods to continue my studies and basically be reborn as an immersion learner. So if you want to know more about me or what I did in the past or where my levels were, you can watch either my 1-month video, my 3-month video, my 6-month video, my 9-month video, or my year video. I have all of those videos out on my channel, and you can watch those before this. Might be a good idea to watch before, but you don't really have to if you don't want to. So if you see me looking down here, it's because I have my laptop with my notes, which is where we're going to start now, with my current study plan. The main thing with studying is immersion. Reading, listening. That's it. That's all I do for studying at all. So that's just immersion. I'll go into about my Anki decks. So, like before, I had the Tango N5, N4, N3 decks done, which is about a total of 4,500 words, and I have been sentence mining. Within the last 6-month period, I barely sentence mined, actually, and it's something that I want to change, and I'll talk about that a little later. But I did not sentence mine like at all. So much so that I only grew, I think, only like around 100 cards in my sentence mining deck. Now, it doesn't mean I haven't been looking up words and like learning stuff. I mainly read a lot, so I have been learning words as I see them in context and like using Yomi-chan to like learn them, but have not been doing Anki that much. So my total Anki cards are 6,158. It was only around 6,000 something in my 12-month video. So it's only grown by 100, and it's something I worried about at first, and now I don't really worry about it, but it is something I'm going to be taking like a little more serious from here on out. So if you want to know my daily immersion times for anime, I've immersed in 412 hours of anime, YouTube videos, 328 hours, and only a measly 46 hours of dramas. I'm going to be real, I don't really like dramas that much. Actually, it's not that I don't like them, it's just hard to, I don't know. I just don't get into them as much as I can get into anime and YouTube, so I don't really immerse in them that much. Not that they're bad. I'm sure there's things I like. There are things I like. I'm bad at finishing them, like I'm bad at finishing everything. If you guys follow me on AnyList, you know that. So that's that. In terms of reading, I've read 408 volumes of manga and 34 books, either light novels or actual novels, mainly light novels. I just read a lot of light novels. This is probably the biggest stat that's increased since my 12-month mark. I believe I was only at 7 light novels, and now I'm at 34. So I did, within the 6-month period, I read a lot more, which is something I'm very happy about, and it's something I really wanted to focus on. So I'm really glad about that. So it comes out to a total of 788 hours of active listening. It's not that much. And you're probably like, whoa. Only 788 hours. You don't have 1,000 hours of active listening. It's been a year and a half. Yeah, but that's only what I've tracked. So, might watch a YouTube video here or there, don't track it. Might do something here or there, not track it. But the main thing where I used to get and still get most of my like listening from is actually like speaking to someone. So I have a friend. I talk to her. I listen to her a lot. And if I counted up my hours of like phone calls, you'd be like, wow, that's a long time. It is a long time. But I don't track my phone calls, so it's just not there. So I can't do anything about it. So it looks like I have a lot less time in Japanese than I actually do. And I don't count my reading time. I like to prefer counting volumes. So it just looks like it's way less than it is. But I promise you, I definitely have over 1,000 hours in Japanese. At least probably over 1,500 as well. So I promise that it's low, but it is higher. Seems way lower than this. So now about grammar. I'm done with grammar. I think I talked about this in my 12-month. I'm not focusing on grammar anymore. That doesn't mean that I know every piece of grammar. No, definitely not. But I'm done deliberately studying grammar. So I'm not going to read a textbook. I'm not going to do any of that. If there's something I don't understand, all I have to do is look it up, and usually I can understand it with a Japanese definition of the grammar. So done with any focused grammar study. That doesn't mean that in the future I might like reread Tai Kim and like just see like a couple things that I missed or don't fully know and just like reread through the ones that I'm unsure of. But at least for now, like I'm done worrying about textbooks or any type of grammar, and it's been the same way since my 12-month. I haven't opened up a grammar guide in a very long time, and truthfully, I don't need to. I understand a lot of what I'm consuming, and we'll get to that. Monolingual transition. Talked about this last time. I said I use the monolingual dictionary as much as I can. Still true now. However, I have changed a little bit. I do use the monolingual dictionary. However, I'm not like strict about it. People get really weird about it, and they're like, it needs to be monolingual or else you're not fluid and you suck and you're bad and you don't understand anything. Or if you don't use monolingual, then you're not going to understand the definition of a word. I agree with those people in some aspects, and I disagree in a lot more. I like monolingual dictionary, and I'll use it sometimes. However, there's sometimes I'm reading, and I want to just flow and read, and if I need to look up a word, I have it on the English dictionary by default so that I can just get a definition and keep going. One of the main things that I've learned through all of this is that, yes, the monolingual dictionary is going to give you the most accurate definition. However, if you use the bilingual dictionary and you use that as like, okay, the word kind of means this, and you go on and like you think of it as that, it will get corrected and you'll learn the nuance and exactly what it means by seeing it in different contexts. And that's something that gets talked about in immersion a lot, is that it's literally just immerse and things will get cleared up. And that's just as true for definitions of words. So I don't think the monolingual is like the end-all be-all as people try to make it out to be. So if you're struggling with the monolingual transition and like there's still like, you don't understand every definition, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like obviously try to do monolingual if you really want to and like use it as much as possible. But at least in my opinion, a lot of things are going to be cleared up by immersion anyway. So just get a okay definition of what the word means in your head, just so that you can like reference that next time you see it and like gain a better understanding. But eventually like you're not going to like think of it in English anyway. So try not to worry about it. There's words that I learned with an English definition, and now when I think of them, I can't really explain it in English because I just understand it way more in Japanese because of how much I've seen it. And my brain just kind of goes, oh, this one's like this and this and this. And that is why immersion is incredible, and it's probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed is just things get cleared up, especially with definitions, so I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're having trouble with the monolingual transition. So thoughts on my progress / current skill level. This one's fun. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, by the way, so I apologize if this is long. I'm just kind of talking and recording on my phone, so I have no clue how long we're going, and I'm kind of just going to talk until I'm done with my notes. And if it's long, it's long. Hell, it's 1.5 years. This is where you're supposed to be, fluent. So you might as well talk about it, right? So, thoughts on my current progress and skill level. We're going to start with manga. Might not be a surprise. I read a lot of manga. Used to. Haven't been recently, but that'll change. It always does. Over 400 volumes at this point. And what I read, now this is the big thing that I want everyone to understand as I talk about anything that I talk about, because I might not remember to bring it up. For what I read, I understand a large amount. There's still unknown words. However, understanding the story and getting an enjoyment is easy. I don't have to, except for maybe Attack on Titan at the beginning, which that got easier towards the end. Manga for me is pick it up, read, enjoy. It's not pick it up, read, struggle, and enjoy. It's just read and enjoy. It's not as easy as English, of course not. However, it's probably like the best form for me to get Japanese in and almost have like no real issues with anything. Still unknown words, like I said. I think there's always going to be unknown words, maybe. But it's just read and enjoy, which is awesome. And I read a lot of slice of life, romance stuff, almost like rarely shonen, and I don't think I've ever read any seinen besides like a chapter of Berserk, which I really enjoyed, and I'm going to go back to and like go through in the future. But it's mainly slice of life and mainly romance. So the vocab pool is very simple. It's very everyday life focused, and it's like once you learn it, it carries over to a bunch of different other series. You're never gonna like be missing core vocab in romance or slice of life. So I'm not reading anything hard, and I'll say that out front. Like for everything, I don't do anything that's really difficult. But for me, it's what I enjoy, and that's all I care about. So it's fine. And yeah, I can understand manga. I can read manga, have fun. Like if I'm bored and I want to read a manga, like reading a volume, it really depends on like what it is. But like at most, like I feel like for a volume of One Piece, which is what I've been reading lately, I think it's like an hour a volume. If it's something really short, like Karakaijo's and Motoukagi-san, or Motoukagi-san, like either of those, I think it's probably like I could probably do it in 30 minutes if I'm just sitting down and reading. So it really depends on what I'm reading, but an hour is like typical for a volume of manga for me, I think. I don't time it, so this is just like guessing, but I think so. I mentioned One Piece. One Piece isn't too bad. It's just pirate vocab. So once you get used to that, and I'm kind of used to it at this point, it's just enjoying it. Still unknown words, like always. Gotta keep saying that, because I feel like when you say that you understand something, and it's like enjoyable, people assume that like, oh, you understand everything, right? No new words, but there's new words in everything. So I don't worry about it anymore. I look up words if I don't understand. Sometimes I don't, doesn't matter. But the main thing with manga consumption is whatever I want to read, I can read and enjoy. Haven't found anything since Attack on Titan, and even that towards the end got way easier. Haven't found anything recently that I picked up, started reading, and I went, whoa, this is a little above my level. So my manga comprehension's pretty decent, and I like that because I like manga. So we'll go to light novels now. Mainly read romance light novels. Who would have thought? So romance light novels, comprehension of the overall story, what's going on, not that bad. Can understand and enjoy, which is all I really care about. Like I said, unknown words, they're all there, but I'm never like reading a romance light novel and go, wait, what's going on? I kind of just read it and enjoy it, and it's fun. So it's like just enjoyable, and I think that's like the main thing to talk about with my Japanese right now is things are enjoyable. Not perfect, but things are enjoyable, and it's great. It's good. It's really fun, and I like it a lot. Recently I started reading Okayu, and the first chapter of that light novel was probably the hardest light novel chapter I ever read. And I still don't know why. Because after chapter 1, it got significantly like easier, and I didn't have that much trouble understanding things. I think chapter 1 was just getting used to the writing style, as well as the characters use very specific like references and like smart people language, I guess, sometimes, and like words. It sounds stupid to say that, but it's more than like a typical like romance slice of life like dialogue sometimes. So I think that tripped me up, but after that it wasn't that bad. Volume 2 I think I read in like 2 days maybe, which for that size of book 2 days is pretty decent for me. And I'm on volume 3 now. I'm about 20,000 characters in, but I haven't been reading it lately because I've been like moving around and like doing a bunch of other things. That's like a thing that happens with light novels is I'll skip from thing to thing rather than finishing a series, because I have this weird thing where if I get to volume 3, I kind of get bored. Even if I'm really enjoying the series, I'll get bored and I need to like jump ship and go to something else, and then I'll go back to the original series like months later, and then it'll be fine and I'll finish it and I'll enjoy it. So I don't know, I'm a little weird when it comes to that. Also, this isn't a light novel, but we're going to talk about some novel stuff. I started reading the Bakemonogatari novel. How do I say this? Let me preface it with, I watched the anime a while ago in English, like years ago, and I watched a couple episodes in Japanese with Japanese subtitles. I read chapter 1 of the novel, which is about 40,000 characters. it's not that bad. I always heard the Monogatari series as being like difficult, like high level, up with like Fate. And I don't know if any of that's true. I don't know the difficulty of anything really. I kind of just enjoy it. But my opinion in terms of like grammar used, dialogue, and words, Monogatari was not that bad. There are unknown words, but I mainly understood what was going on, what was being said, and I used the dictionary, and it was like not that big of a deal. And it made me really question a lot of things, because either the people who are saying it's really hard are just not correct, or I'm just completely lying to myself and I don't understand anything. And that's the thing that scares me, but it's not that bad. Now, saying that, that doesn't mean that I understand everything, and it doesn't mean that like I understand the subtleties. I know Nishio Ishin likes to use a lot of like wordplay and like kanji play, and I'm sure like when that comes up, it goes completely over my head, because I saw a joke in a Discord server that someone put, and I definitely read past that part, I think, and like it was a joke on kanji, and I didn't understand it until I like looked it up and found a Japanese website that explained what the joke was, and I went, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I'm sure a bunch of things like that just completely go over my head and I don't notice it, but it doesn't impact my understanding of like the overall like story and what's going on and my enjoyment. So, like I'm sure that's hard to get all of those is definitely hard, but I wouldn't say that like I'm having a difficult time reading it. It's just more enjoyable. Like honestly, I was really worried when I started reading it, because I was like, damn, this is gonna punch me in the face, and I'm gonna really know how bad my Japanese is. And my Japanese is bad. I'm not gonna say it's good. However, reading it was just like smooth and really enjoyable. I read those 40,000 characters like probably like in a day, which isn't a lot in a day, but sometimes I go through spurts of reading a lot, not reading a lot, and that was during my not reading a lot phase, and I kind of just like zoomed through it, and I really enjoyed it, which was awesome. So I'm gonna keep reading it. If it gets harder, I'll mention it in the next video probably, but at least right now, I don't think it's as hard as people act like it is. So if you want to read it, I would just jump in and try it. Maybe I'm lying and maybe I don't understand anything, but at least it feels like it's not the hardest thing in the world like it was made out to be when I originally like heard about it. I always heard it was like crazy hard. So next, the classic novel that everyone was probably waiting for me to talk about, definitely, Ningen Shikaku. Still haven't finished it. Now, the main reason for that is I kind of like, when I last started reading it, I kind of like got like halfway through, kind of got stuck, not stuck, but like a little bored, because I wasn't fully understanding what was going on, and I felt like I was ruining my experience with it. So I kind of stopped. And recently, within the last week, I restarted it, and I wanted to finish it before this video, but finals with school, I'm on winter break now, so a lot of immersion. But finals basically took a lot of my time, and I was unable to read it. So I'm about 12,000 characters in, and at this point, I think this is my third time going through, no, either second or third time going through the beginning like this. I understand it a lot more. There's a lot less words that I don't understand. When I originally read it, I was getting a headache because like every other word was like unknown, and now it's like I can read a little bit unknown word, and like it's more like smooth, which is really nice. And my understanding of what's going on in those 12,000 characters was pretty decent. I think I understood what was going on, and it was enjoyable. I will say that Dazai's writing style is still a little bit like, sometimes I get a little stuck, and I'm like, what's he trying to say here? What is he saying? I don't really know. But overall, I wouldn't say that like it's impossible anymore, which is really good. So I'll finish it by my 2-year mark, probably, hopefully. I say that, might not get to read it because I might do other things, but I'll try to. But it's definitely way easier than what it was even like a couple months ago, which is awesome. Shows an improvement. I like that. Talking a lot, sorry. So now we're with anime. This is gonna be like a little shorter. Same with manga. I only watch easy shit that I enjoy, so it's relatively not that hard to understand anime and enjoy it. If there's Japanese subtitles, it's obviously going to be way better than without, but I don't know. It's not that bad. I enjoy it. I like anime. I don't watch much because I'm bad at watching things. But yeah, same thing as manga. So if you take the manga stuff, move it to anime, it basically applies because anime is just manga but animated. So yeah, so my thoughts on manga, which was a little more in depth, just basically take that, move it over to anime. It's the same thing. Good enough. YouTube. I don't really watch YouTube at all. Honestly, I watch a couple YouTubers, some VTubers and like Ban Banzai. And Ban Banzai videos, there's 3 people in the group and I understand what they're talking about. And I'm like very used to their way of speaking and everything at this point, so it's not hard to understand those videos. And they're mainly for enjoyment now. Same with VTubers. I don't really watch many, but the ones I do watch, just watch. I'm at the point with YouTube where there's no thought of studying Japanese in my head. I don't look up unknown words if I don't know them on YouTube, unless it's like really like, I don't know, like a focal point of a video. Then I might look it up if I don't understand. But other than that, I just watch and I'm like, YouTube fun. And it's like watching YouTube rather than studying Japanese, which is where everything is at this point. But especially YouTube, because I'll just put it on and just watch and just enjoy it. That's kind of short, but there's not much to talk about with YouTube because it kind of goes in with like anime where I only watch specific things. And to me at this point, because I've watched them for so long, they are a lot easier than other things. So you throw me into an unknown YouTuber I've never watched, it might be a little harder depending on like how they speak, stuff like that. But for what I watch, I can enjoy it just fine and it's fun. I like it. Next part, speaking. I'm still terrible, if you're not surprised. So depending on the situation, it's easier to speak. If I'm in a group conversation, I can speak pretty okay. If I'm speaking one-on-one, depending on the topic, I can speak. And when I say speak okay, I mean get my thoughts out and speak. Sometimes it sounds like, oh, he's not stupid. But other times it's like I might stutter, not fully know what I want to say. But I can speak and get things out. It's just not good. And I'm at the point where I don't really care how good it is right now. I'm still working on other things that I want to get to later. Speaking's not it's still not my number 1 priority. It never has. And it will be one day, but definitely not now. I haven't spoken in a while at this point, so I'm extremely out of practice. So I probably sound 10 times worse now than what I normally would sound like if I was like speaking every single day and watching a lot of like shows or YouTube. When I watch a lot of things and speak, my speaking is the best. Because of that, there will be no speaking in this video. I know you probably want to see how much better I am from the 1 year. Spoiler alert, probably not that much different. The main reason for that, and I'll talk about this, I'm actually embarrassed by my 1 year video with my speaking because I've been told by Japanese people that I talk to, when I put out that video, like literally that day, like I talked to someone and they were like, yeah, your speaking in that video is definitely not as good as you are. And I knew that afterwards, and when I uploaded, I kind of was like, I don't want anyone to watch this. I'm terrible at talking in front of a camera. In English, it's hard enough for people, let alone in Japanese. The only reason I can talk in front of a camera now and have no issues is because I live streamed before in like from 2015 to like 2018, 19. So talking in front of a camera is nothing for me now, and I can do it like as if I'm talking to a person. But I don't have that skill in Japanese, and my Japanese is 10 times worse than my English already. So just speaking, even in a conversation, is going to be worse. But the thing in front of a camera definitely is something I'm not used to, and it made my speaking 10 times worse in that video. And I'm not saying this as a way of like, no, I swear I'm better. I'm just not happy with how I like spoke in that video, and I really don't want to do it again unless I feel like confident that I can show something representative of my ability, because I don't want to seem like I'm better than I am, but I also don't want to seem 10 times worse than I am. I just want to show you guys where I'm at, and talking in front of a camera by myself is not the way to do that for me. So maybe in the future I might like record a conversation with a Japanese person. That might be something I could do and then show that. That might be a better representation. But yeah, if you came here for a speaking video, sorry, but I'm not really in the mood to do it because I don't really care about speaking right now. So what are you gonna do? All right. Next section. New one. I took a JLPT N1 practice test. And I say took, I mean I did it yesterday, and I didn't do listening because I honestly didn't really feel like it, and I just wanted like a quick assessment of my skills in the other areas and just see where I'm at. So I didn't do listening, so it's not a full test. So keep that in mind as I'm talking about things. Vocab score, 17 out of 25. Wasn't that bad. Actually easier than I expected in some parts, so I was surprised by that. 17 out of 25 was okay. I'm alright with that. Grammar score, 14 out of 20. Not that bad considering I don't look at grammar and I don't know what an M1 grammar point is compared to an N2 grammar point is. So I'll take it, 14 out of 20. And also my favorite parts about that, which is where I noticed, so it'll have a sentence and it'll be blank, 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 like 4 blanks. One has a star. If you've taken a JLPT test or a practice test, you know what I mean. And basically they give you 4 words and you have to pick which word goes in the star. So you have to, with the 4 words they give you, put them in the sentence in the correct order, and whichever one's in the star, that's the answer. The funny thing about this is I would just put words in and like switch things around and read it. And if it sounded correct, then it would be fine for me. And I think in that section I got a decent amount of them right. So just by immersing, I have a little bit of an intuition for what correct Japanese is. And I literally can like pick out those 4, put them in, and then like get the right answer. Just because I'm like, oh, this sounds right. Like I don't know the rules. I'm not using any rules when I pick those answers. I literally just went, oh, this sounds correct and like correct Japanese. So I think that's cool because immersion kind of builds that up and lets you know what sounds right and what just sounds wrong. So I thought that was neat. My reading score, it was my worst score. I got a 7 out of 24. Now, sounds terrible, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But my total score for those sections was a 38 out of 69, which is a 55%. As far as I know, the JLPT is scored where you have to get 30%, I believe, in every section. And I think it's 55% overall or 60% overall. With those scores, assuming I get a decent listening, like over 30%, I would fail. But I would only fail because my reading was like a 29%. So if I got one more reading question right and I got over 30% in listening, it would be a JLPT N1 pass if that was the test. Reading was the worst. And actually, I think I know the reason. I read all the time, so it's not like I don't know how to read things. But the reading prompts are very much test-oriented, obviously. And you have to read a prompt, and it's all nonfiction, which I don't read at all. I only read fiction. And you have to answer questions mainly based on like what's the purpose of writing and what did the author like mean and what to like convey. In English, I don't like that. I was okay at those tests when I was in school, but I didn't like it. So expecting me to do it in Japanese and be good, I didn't expect it to go well. So wish it was a higher score for reading, but it's definitely like if I just did nonfiction for a certain amount of time and like thought more about stuff, I'll probably be able to get a better score. But yeah, as I said, it would be my score with a decent listening would be on the edge of passing and failing. This time it would just be a fail, but if I got one more reading, it would have been a pass. So the main thing I want to say about that, also, I didn't take the listening, so this is like assuming I get above a 30% in the listening. The main thing that I took away from that is you don't need to study for the JLPT. I didn't study for this practice test. I literally just was downstairs. I was reading a book and I thought, my 2 roommates are taking finals right now. Why don't I just go and take the practice JLPT on one test because I want to talk about it on the video tomorrow. And I didn't study. I just took it. And I didn't take it as seriously as I would have a real test. I actually finished with, they give you 110 minutes. I finished with about 50 minutes remaining. So if it was a real test, I could go back and reread things and try again on certain things and still have a bunch of time. So time limit, I don't think is that much of an issue. Apparently people had trouble with that. I didn't, but it's also like the amount of questions I answered, I think is less than the actual JLPT, so it probably like doesn't matter. So I wouldn't worry about the time thing too much, what I just said. But yeah, I didn't study. I plan on taking N1 next year in December, and doing this now shows me that I could probably pass it now at 18 months with a little bit of prep. I think if I did some more prep, like I did some prep work, like a month or two before the test, I would 100% have passed this practice test if it was like a real test. So I think 1.5 years getting N1 is completely doable. I think it's doable with or without prep. I think with prep, you're obviously going to do a lot better, but it's definitely doable no matter what in a 1.5 years of just immersing. So I guess that's a good thing to think about. I plan on taking it in December. Don't think I'm going to study for anything except for maybe do like a month or two before, buy one of the Kanzen Master or one of the prep books, get the reading section just to get myself better with nonfiction and understanding like how the questions are and like just think about it more in an analytical way. So I will take it next year in December, and that'll be 2.5 years. So if at 1.5 years you can almost pass it, I should definitely be able to pass it in 2.5. So yeah, it was more of like a thing I just wanted to see where it was. I didn't really expect a good score. I went into it and I'm like, I'm probably gonna do shit. I thought that. Came out and basically almost passed it. So once again, without listening. But I don't know, it was nice to see some type of thing. And I always heard before, it's hard. Like you hear immersion learners talk about N1's not that hard. It's not hard. You don't really believe that, especially when you get fed all the propaganda about how difficult the JLPT is before you like start immersing. So I never really shook from my head that N1 is like really difficult. And now that I've done it, I know N1's not that difficult, especially if I can probably pass it. If I can probably pass it, I don't think it's that bad of a test because I don't think I'm that good at Japanese. That's basically all I have to say about the N1 or JLPT in general. If you don't have a deadline for when you want to pass a certain level of the test, don't study, just immerse. If you have a deadline, obviously you should probably study for the test, but you don't need to study for the test. You just need to immerse and you'll get there. And I think a lot of people have proved that already, but now I know for sure that that is the case, and I think it's good to be able to say that out loud with some firsthand experience in a way with a practice test. Plans for the future? I know it's gonna be crazy. You're gonna be like, wow. Plans for the future. Immerse. Just read, listen. Don't have any other plans besides that. And Anki. I haven't been doing Anki, as I mentioned, but my plan is the beginning of 2022, starting on January 1st, I want to do Anki every single day for the full year and learn 5 to 10 words a day. I think I can do it. I did it in the past. I can do it. I just gotta get back on the horse and just go. So that's the plan with Anki. But yeah, other than that, other than like those like Anki plans, I don't have any plans for the future besides immerse. And I think after a certain point, everyone hits that, and it's like my plans are immerse. So that's all I can really say about my plans for the future. Worries / doubts. We're almost done. Just got this and then the conclusion. My worries / doubts. The only worry I have is pitch accent. Did not talk about it in my 1 year because I forgot to talk about it, to be honest with you, but I'm talking about it here. I want to sound pretty decent, but I don't want to sound like a native, so I'm not like super stressed about learning the pitch of every word. I just want to learn a good amount and like so I can sound all right. I have an issue with pitch accent. I don't know how to learn it. Everyone says you do this, and I follow it, and it's still not working out, and I need to like really sit down and just like go hard on it. I can hear it individually. If I listen to a word, I can tell normally the pattern, and it wouldn't be that, it's not that bad. The issue is in a sentence. I'm just unable. I can't listen to a sentence and pick out the pitch and know if the word is wrong, if someone's saying the wrong pitch accent. And that's something I really need to fix because that's like the biggest thing. Like I'm not gonna be hearing words individually forever in isolation. It's like they're gonna be in sentences. So pitch accent in sentences is something that I'm just shit at. I'm just bad. And I'll admit that. I'll be the first person to admit that. And it's something I really do need to work on and want to work on. And it's just hard for me. And I don't know why. And it sucks seeing other people being able to do it. And I just can't. And I don't know. I can hear it individually, which means I'm there. I'm almost there. Like I'm a step towards it. But I can't hear it in a sentence. And it does get me down sometimes. And there was like a couple day period where I was like, I like barely immersed because I like only was thinking about pitch accent. And I was just like, really like getting in my own head about it. But That's the only worry / doubt I have at this point, because everything else I know gets taken care of my immersion. But pitch accent is something I really do want to work on. So I don't know. If you have any tips, you can leave it in the comments. I might have already followed it or at least thought about it, but I don't know. It's something that I do need to work on. I'm going to put a lot of effort towards, especially before I really do like put the grind into speaking. Pitch accent will be something I put more time into. Every time I'm reading, I have pitch accent dictionaries installed. So when I use Yomi-chan, word comes up, I see the pitch accent, and I can listen to native audio right then and there. So I am paying attention to it while I'm reading as well. So I'm paying attention to it a lot. I just need to really hammer it in, I guess. And I don't really know how to do that. I'll figure it out. Hopefully I'll figure it out. So that's basically it. We're at our conclusion. Don't know how long this is. Can't wait to check my phone and then it be like exploding because I've been recording for 8 hours probably. So recommendations. I don't really have much this time. I kind of just put some things. So manga, we got One Piece, Mieru ko chan, Kanojo mo Kanojo. You might know all of them, you might not know any of them. Once again, every recommendation will be in the description in case you don't understand my terrible speaking. Yeah, those good manga. Some novels.娘じゃなくて. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you probably know. It's good if you're a loser. So, if that is you, I recommend checking it out. Okayu, I enjoyed it and I want to keep reading it. I just don't know when I'll get back to it. Chainsaw Man Buddy Stories. If you like Chainsaw Man, it's a really good light novel. It's like short, super easy to understand, and it's just fun. More stories in the Chainsaw Man universe, and I really enjoyed it. So I recommend that. The Monogatari series, specifically Bakemonogatari, because that's what I'm reading now. Enjoyable. I like it. So, and it's also not that bad, like I mentioned. So check it out if you want to. Anime, we got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Nobody knows that show. That's a real niche show. Niche? I don't know how to say that word. See, I don't even know English. Yeah, no one knows about that show. That's really underground. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Again, if you've never heard about it, nobody has, so don't worry about it. Happy Sugar Life, Monster, new Demon Slayer season started. It's pretty good. I like it. Pretty good anime there. YouTubers, once again, Okayu. I watch Okayu like a couple times a week, maybe every day. I have an issue. I like Okayu. And ban ban zai, they do like multiple uploads a day. So if you want content, ban ban zai, and they're like 3 like really like entertaining people that I just really like watching. For dramas, I literally wrote no clue, lol. I don't watch dramas, so you can't get those recommendations from me. The classic one is Terrace House. That's all I can think of, and it's the only one I really like and can watch a lot of. If you want other ones, I'm sorry, I don't have it. Video games. I haven't played any video games recently in Japanese. Besides the new Pokemon games, I got Shining Pearl. About 27 hours in. I just beat the Elite Four last night. Playing it all in Japanese, super easy. I think I've gone through and I want to say throughout the whole game there's been like only like 10 words I didn't know. Like, and that's like a rough estimate, but it's super easy. So if you like Pokemon, might as well play it in Japanese. I highly recommend that. Super easy. Decent amount of reading practice if you like actually read things. I know people sometimes just skip through text in Pokemon. I read it personally, so it was okay reading practice, but it was really easy and enjoyable. So it's Pokemon, so that might be a good game. Next update. Gonna do one at the 2-year mark because it's 6 months, and then I probably won't do another one until the 3-year mark after the 2. But in 6 months, on June 15th, 2022, I will be doing my 2-year update, and it will be maybe just like this, and I'll be talking about it, and things might not change, but it'll be good to check in and be like, hey guys, what's up? I'm still doing Japanese. So yeah, so I hope you guys are excited for that. If you enjoyed this video, I know it might be long, feel free to subscribe, watch my other videos, specifically the Japanese ones. Don't worry about any other video on my channel, but Japanese videos, if you want to see my 2-year one, recommend subscribing so you can come right back here in 6 months. And from there, I got social medias. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Twitter, which will be in the description. You can follow me on Bookmeter. I have 2 Bookmeter accounts, one for manga, one for other books. You can follow me on there, see what I'm reading. It's fun. You can add me on AnyList, which I really like AnyList. It's basically tracking light novels, manga, anime. It's like my anime list, but better in my opinion. I really like it because you can like people's like statuses, and it's just fun. It feels like a small little community. Like I like people's stuff, they like my things. It feels like we're closer friends than we actually are, just because we like each other's like anime, like stuff that we're watching or like stuff that we're reading. So I recommend following me on there if you want. Yeah, but I definitely recommend at most probably Twitter. That's where I talk about things the most. I don't really tweet often, but when I do, it might be important to see. Not really. But I want Twitter followers, so you should follow me on Twitter. I think that's it. I really hope that this has been recording this whole time, because if I check and it's not, I'm gonna cry. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate you if you stayed all the way till the end. If you have any questions, you can DM me on any platform that you can find me. You can write in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm sometimes bad with replying. Usually I'm like really good, but recently I've been just terrible. So I really apologize if you're someone who sent me a message and I didn't get back to it right away, because I'm all over the place sometimes with messages. But I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in about 6 months. See ya.